say the apocalypse happens when you blind yourself to the apocalypse. If we want to avoid the apocalypse to its fullest extent, we better step into it. We better stop playing games and pretend that somehow we can slow down emissions or we can stop emissions. It's madness. We need to look at the kind of solutions that you just mentioned. Yes, I mean, as I like to point out, when you have been a lifelong smoker and now you have lung cancer, stopping smoking or slowing down smoking or smoking a little bit isn't going to solve the problem. We're going to have to go think about chemotherapy. And what you just addressed, Ivan, is the equivalent to doing chemotherapy at the kind of planetary level, right? It's terraforming the planet the way we would if we were on Mars or any other kind of planet, right? We'd have to think about how do we turn this planet into a livable place again.
So maybe like something like what Jed and Tanya are doing in Bali in respect of changing, creating these bamboo forests that will could potentially replace cement and do sequestration, hold in carbon, those little things that could eventually do good things.
Absolutely. So we need everything we do from here on out. We have to contemplate how can that become an instrument for climatary restoration, right? So yes, if bamboo is a solution to create a bamboo cement, like to find a way to, bring down the carbon into the bamboo and then sequester it into some kind of form of cement, that's all good stuff. Every single action in humanity is going to start to have to contemplate how can we turn this action into an instrument for repair, into something that is actually going to.
So what you're saying is, listen, we're going to do the carbon thing. The only a solution is to say, okay, let's actually create a carbon trading solution, like where you can actually put something maybe on the blockchain where if someone is going to do coal, make sure that they're carbon neutral by subsidizing 100 kilometers of bamboo growth.
For example, I mean, Lisa calls it carbon brain. We need to orient ourselves to carbon as an asset, as a resource, as something that needs to be seen, made visible, right? We don't see CO2, it's not visible. And yet it's killing us, right? As there are other things, right? There are other gases and there's also other pollution, et cetera. There's a lot we are doing that is making this problem happen. But the idea for us to start to become carbon stewards, right? To step into a kind of consciousness that says, what am I doing with this carbon? And to realize that we have to manage it. We have to orient ourselves to being a carbon civilization, carbonaceous civilization that is starting to manage carbon, not just, we've been a carbon-driven civilization over the last so many years because we discovered that there's all this stored carbon underground and we can do magic stuff with it. The energy density of the stuff is unbelievable. But we didn't then say, oh, we are using it, let's make sure we keep it around. We just let it go, just like we do with pollution in the oceans, right? We just say, hey, that chemical we're putting into our fields is a kind of global shift of consciousness that is moving away from just thinking about this emissions solution because it's not happening, it won't happen, to be much more proactive, carbon capture and sequestration.